Internal Audit's role in monitoring outsourced processes, a strategic insight for CIA Part 2 candidates. Introduction. Why monitoring outsourcing is a key internal audit responsibility. As organizations continue to streamline operations, reduce costs, and increase scalability, outsourcing business processes has become a strategic norm. From IT services and payroll to logistics and customer support, third-party providers now manage many critical functions. But outsourcing doesn't mean offloading responsibility. Internal auditors must ensure that outsourced processes remain aligned with the organization's objectives, risks are managed effectively, and controls are functioning as intended. This makes monitoring outsourced processes a vital area of focus in the CIA Part 2 exam and in professional audit practice. This article will walk you through internal audit's key responsibilities in monitoring outsourcing arrangements, using practical insights, real-world examples, and CIA exam tips to enhance your understanding. Why monitoring outsourced processes is essential. When a business outsources a process, it may transfer execution, but not accountability. The organization is still ultimately responsible for performance, compliance, and risk outcomes related to the outsourced activity. Key risks include data breaches and privacy violations, regulatory non-compliance, service-level failures, loss of control and visibility, and reputational damage. This is where internal audit comes in, providing independent assurance that outsourced processes are properly governed, risks are identified and managed, and contractual obligations are met. Internal audit responsibilities in outsourced environments. 1. Assessing the outsourcing decision. Before a contract is even signed, internal auditors can provide valuable input by reviewing the due diligence process for vendor selection, evaluating the risk assessment related to the outsourced activity, and ensuring alignment with the organization's strategic goals and control environment. Example: an organization plans to outsource IT help desk services. The audit team reviews whether the vendor has cybersecurity certifications and a track record of service quality. 2. Reviewing contracts and service-level agreements. Once outsourcing is in place, internal audit must ensure that contracts and SLAs include appropriate performance standards, accountability clauses, and audit rights. Key elements to verify: measurable performance metrics, such as response time and uptime, data protection obligations and confidentiality agreements, termination, penalty, and escalation clauses, and rights to audit the vendor's operations. CIA tip: exam questions may test your ability to identify missing contract elements that could weaken oversight. 3. Evaluating the control environment at the vendor. Many outsourced functions involve sensitive information, financial transactions, or regulatory compliance. Internal audit must evaluate the adequacy of the vendor's internal controls, whether controls are tested and documented, and the existence of certifications such as SOC 1 and ISO 27001. Example: an internal audit team requests the SOC 1 report from the payroll vendor to verify whether financial controls are independently reviewed. 4. Monitoring ongoing performance and compliance. Internal audit helps ensure the organization is actively monitoring SLA compliance reports, incident logs, and resolution timelines, internal escalations or service complaints, and regulatory adherence such as GDPR and HIPAA. Auditors assess whether the organization has a structured process for vendor monitoring and whether that process is sufficiently robust and responsive. CIA tip: be ready to assess a scenario where a vendor has underperformed and determine if the organization's monitoring mechanisms were adequate. 5. Facilitating cross-functional governance. Monitoring outsourced processes isn't just an audit function, it requires collaboration between procurement, IT, operations, and compliance. Internal audit evaluates the effectiveness of the overall governance structure, including roles and responsibilities, communication protocols, escalation procedures, and vendor performance review meetings. Example: a logistics company outsources transportation. The internal auditor ensures quarterly performance meetings are held and documented between the operations team and the service provider. 6. Recommending improvements and enhancing risk management. Auditors don't just monitor, they add value by recommending ways to improve vendor selection criteria, enhance SLA definitions, automate reporting and alerts, and strengthen contingency and exit strategies. CIA tip: watch for case questions asking which recommendation would improve control over outsourced functions. Think beyond basic monitoring to strategic improvements. Exam preparation tips: memorize key responsibilities of internal audit in the outsourcing lifecycle. Pre-engagement, contracting, monitoring, and governance. Understand the importance of SLAs and audit rights in contract language. Practice evaluating vendor performance reports, incident trends, and how audit teams follow up on outsourced risk areas. Be prepared to recommend controls or improvements for outsourced process oversight. Conclusion: assurance doesn't end at the contract. Outsourcing can unlock efficiency and innovation, but only when it's governed with care. Internal auditors play a pivotal role in ensuring that outsourced processes remain secure, compliant, and strategically aligned with business goals. For CIA Part 2 candidates, mastering this topic means developing the judgment and insight needed to assess risk and recommend meaningful improvements in dynamic, multi-party environments. So audit smarter, ask sharper questions, and always follow the outsourced process, because true assurance travels beyond organizational borders.